Hey everybody, Paul here. If you're brand new to us, I'm going to start this a little bit different. Thank you for joining us on the live, if you're here live, or if you're watching afterwards. Thank you for joining us and rewatching a live. If you have time in the future, maybe you'll think about joining us for a live stream during the live so you can participate a little bit more, potentially get some of your questions answered and everything like that. So just wanted to get that out of the way while we wait for people to join us and for the live to actually kind of start going through stuff. But just some admin notes. If you're rewatching this live stream, thank you for spending some time with us and kind of watching through some of the things we're talking over here with the fine folks that are going to join us here in a couple of minutes. All right. We've actually got people jumping in already. This is awesome. Hey, Colin, how's it going? Anthony, hello. How's your guys' Fridays? I know it's kind of difficult to get on a live stream during the week, but having tried it on a Saturday doesn't really. We actually get more people on Fridays than we do on Saturdays, strangely enough. Scott, hello. It is almost the weekend. That is correct. Sorry, I'm a little bit sore, a little bit tight. I don't know why. I need to exercise more often. Got some really kind of a lot of stuff to go over today, so hey Blake, yeah, listen, play the audio through the car through your headphones. Just don't pay attention to. You don't want to look at this anyway. You're not going to miss much, Blake. Oh, well, Scott, if it's Saturday for you, good. It's the weekend already. Church boy, hello. Oh yeah, the those sometimes the shows or the pens that we leave behind. We've had people like literally watching us and then walk up and take it right before. They're not even like they have no idea who we are. We just leave something there, and people like randomly walk up. I think one of the last pens that I did that way, some dude was just like watching and walked up and like took the pen and had no idea. So that happens frequently. Yeah, the white Delrin is really slick. We're gonna go over some of that. That's the main one. I was gonna say we have a kind of a lot to go over today, more than normal. Like I planned for just to talk about the Delrin, the Delrin modals, and I actually have two other topics to kind of hit. So we got a lot to kind of go over, but yeah, I'll have some of those to show off. I know not the ones specifically with the brass, but that white and brass does look really, really great. I didn't even see those before they took them, before Bill had them. They put them together out there and they were gone. So I was busy doing something else so that day. So, hey Ian, how's it going? There's a lot of you here, so I'm gonna go ahead and like 10 or 15 people according to the according to my YouTube live chat screen, which isn't always right, but seems to be pretty. Yeah, it just went from 10 to 17. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of jump into the topics, and first I'm gonna go over an overview and kind of talk about the stuff. Actually, a little bit of admin here. Let me go ahead and let me get a giveaway link. That way you guys can fill out the giveaway form. Since we are going to go ahead and do another giveaway, there is the link to the giveaway form. Hey Eric, nice to see you. Tumbled aluminum back in stock for. We'll have tumbled aluminum pocket modals available this week, or next week. Sorry, next week we'll have more of the tumbled aluminum pocket modals. We finished reprogrammed a bunch of the machines and moved the clips to a different machine, and we're able to get more of those cranked off. So we have a decent amount of those already ready to go. Happy Friday, Amanda. It is a happy Friday. All right. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, fill out the giveaway form. That way you guys can get entered into that. I'll show you guys the giveaway stuff. We're gonna look at that here in a second, but just kind of admin notes to kind of go through what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the non-metal modals, including Ultim and the Delrin versions that we're going to have. I'm going to show a couple of those off. We've got orange anodized pens coming back if you're a person that likes orange. So I'm going to show off a couple of the things that we have. One thing that's live today, we've got orange retracts already back. Those are the first things to have to come in. So the orange retracts are live on the site today, and then tomorrow the email is actually going to have the first like orange special release that we've gotten back and put together. That's going to be for sale tomorrow as the Saturday special. And then I've got an update on fountain pens not made out of metal. So we'll go over that at the end, kind of I don't want to bury the lead and tell you guys exactly what it's about because it's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and get into the non-metal modal release information that I've got. So let me switch screens here real quick. Alrighty. It's not very centered. I tried to center it earlier and apparently I must have knocked it with my leg. So we've already released some of the Ultim modals with hi Justin. The Ultim modals that have the matte black hardware on that we basically sold through. Pen Club had a version of it and with speed grooves on it, and then the standard version, which is the one that I have in the image here. We are gonna, if you're looking for more of those, we are gonna have more of the Ultim modals available. Should be relatively soon. I just have to get clips back from the anodizer. We're gonna do maybe another color on those and do a little bit differently than the version that we released. Something a little bit different. The other pens that are seen here, the two on the right, that's going to be the white and black Delrin standard versions. Those just have silver clips. I don't know that we're going to release them with silver clips in the future. We just threw clips that we had on them at the time in the shop on those two. I'm going to try to curate more of the clips that we actually put on them. Let's see here. I don't want to mess this up. Let's zoom in a little bit on that. So this is just the standard white Delrin, standard black Delrin, silver clip and button. But I think the majority of those are going to have other clips and screws or clips and buttons on them in terms of like mixing, matching different colors. Just because they look a little bit better with like the red, the black really looks good with red. The white really looks good with black or with brass. So there, and for anybody that's curious, I don't have the specific. I should have weighed them to let you know, but like the Delrin is does weigh more than the Ultim. I noticed that the other day when I was setting up for the video. Not considerably more, but noticeably more for sure. If you're holding both of them in your hands, the Delrin does weigh a little bit, or at least it feels like it anecdotally to me. Like, again, we'll have the weights and everything on there for sure. Like, I should have done that before we got this started so I could give you guys the weights. But, and there is the difference in the feel. Like, I like my Ultim modal, but there's something about Delrin. It's really, I don't know, it's a different writing experience. I like the way it feels. in the hand a little bit more than the Ultim stuff does. It It's not slippery. Some people think it's slippery. It's not slippery. The Ultim's not slippery either, but. And then the pen that's on the far left, that's the black Speed Groove Ultim, or black Speed Groove Delrin with brass, the shiny brass. So this version is actually going to be a special release for the Pen Club only, Pen Club exclusive release with the shiny brass on it, and the brass adds a decent amount of weight to the top, but it doesn't make it unwieldy, too back heavy in terms of like riding with it. I don't know the weight difference between the white Delrin and Bob. I'm not positive on the weight difference between the aluminum and the Delrin. Again, I apologize. I don't have that information. I should have thought to get all that stuff together. The email, I'll have an email going out this week that talks about the Delrin modals, and I'll give a weight breakdown comparing them, generally speaking, in terms of basically, hey, the Delrin Ultim weighs this, Delrin weighs X, the aluminum weighs X, and then the copper weighs, or brass weighs, and whatever. We'll have the weights broken down in ounces and in grams this week. That way, if you guys pay attention to your newsletters and read that, kind of as a teaser, hey, before we release these, just so you know, here's the different weight variations that we have on these. We are going to have, just to head off at the pass, we are going to have white and black Delrin versions of the pocket modals as well. Just because I've gotten a lot of questions specifically about pocket modals in emails recently, there will be pocket modals. Brass clip, do you do brass clips on any other pens? Ian, so the only brass clips that we currently have are going to be the clips for the modal and the clips for decagraphs. We are going to be testing brass clips on the ink, since we're manufacturing our ink clips now in-house. We're milling them in-house. We're not having them water jet anymore. We're going to be testing brass clips for the ink as well. But that's down the road. Getting back to the modals. So we will... So we are going to have the following versions available in the next couple weeks: white and black Delrin standard versions, white and black standard modals, white and black Delrin speed grooved standard size, so that takes the G2 Pen Club exclusives. The Pen Club exclusives are going to be like quite a bit lower in numbers than the standard version. We're also going to have white and black Delrin pocket modals with the standard, like the 6 like EDK rings on them. And then we are going to be making some white and black pocket modals with the larger speed grooves on those for the Pen Club, but in the pocket modal size. So basically, and they're going to be we're going to curate the releases to have specific buttons and clips on them, depending on different anodized versions. Some of them will have, like that release has the brass on for the knob, for this button, and for the clip. We're going to kind of do different colors on certain ones and stuff like that. We haven't done the slider, Blake, as in brass, though we may do that in the future. This one doesn't have, sorry, this one has a black Delrin slider in it. It just has the brass button. So we haven't made any of the sliders out of anything other than Ultim and Delrin. So that's going to be something that we may do. The only reason that we haven't really done them yet is, one, the weight that they add is they add a decent amount of weight. So putting them in something that's Delrin will add a lot of, make it a little bit top heavy. And we've just been like cranking out the Delrin and Ultim ones so far. We haven't got around to making them out of any other materials. Chris Edison, Paul, are you going to release more copper modals? Yes, we're still trying to figure out if we can make the clip out of copper. So in the interim, there will be some special release, small batch, very, very limited, kind of like we did the original, that first one for the Pen Club. They're going to have anodized aluminum clips and buttons on them, but I have some copper one copper release already not scheduled. I don't have a specific date for it. Probably towards the end of March, we'll have another Pen Club copper release, and potentially the first standard copper special release with like a different color clip and button on it. So that's kind of where we're at with the modal right now. I have a bunch of modals going out for anodize this week. So new colors kind of are gonna kind of filter in. We're gonna get the rest of the standard colors that we normally carry, like the violet and green. Get those back. Get those in stock. We haven't had those in stock yet. Same with a silver, full silver color, because I had some questions about just a silver anodized aluminum. And then we'll be slowly expanding the colors for the pocket modal, because right now we just have the tumbled, the black, and the brass. So I already have plans to expand the pocket modals. There'll actually be more pocket modals probably available in the interim besides the Delrin stuff. Aluminum, we'll have more aluminum colors. The pocket modals kind of like trickle in over time in terms of, they're all going to be kind of small batch stuff, at least for the interim. It's just, we're manufacturing, we're trying to kind of like crank out as much as we can, but at the same time, like doing X amount of, we're doing like, we're going to do 500 of the pocket modals, and then we'll switch and do 500 of the standard modals type of thing. So we're kind of moving back and forth between the two. Since we have to do two different size, the uppers are different size. And then since we're doing special, we are going to start prototyping more grip section profiles besides the speed groove ones. We're kind of going back and forth between those, which is fine because we're a little bit slow right now with other stuff, especially since we're phasing out the Fountain K. We have some machine time available for us to kind of figure that stuff out. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are with the modal right now. The standard modals, if you haven't been paying attention to the emails, are on sale right now. They're $15 off. So those the five standard colors that we have, colors and materials, is it 5 or 6? Sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't hurt anybody's ears. The red, blue, gray, black, tumbled, and brass standard modals are $15 off right now. That'll run for the next couple days. I think that special runs through the 10th of March. So that's kind of like, we're doing that while we wait for a bunch of the modal stuff to kind of come in stock, the special stuff. What's that special stuff? Hey, Ish. Welcome to the fun and games. If you're curious about the pricing on the Delrin pricing is going to be the same as the aluminum pricing. So considerably cheaper than Ultim pricing. Ultim is pretty expensive, comparatively speaking. Like it's the same price as it is for our copper, which is why they will, like, if you're curious about copper modals, they're going to be priced about at the same price as the Ultim modals. But Delrin is considerably cheaper and easier for us to get, so we're pricing that at the same price as the aluminum modals. So they're going to be like $79 or right around the $79, $75 mark, somewhere between $75 and $79 for the Delrin modals when we release those. I don't have a firm timetable on the first Delrin modal release, mostly because I just got the first batch of clips off the machines yesterday. Those will go out to the anodizer, and so it basically depends on how quickly the anodizer can get them back to us. I have about 100 black and 100 white, and then I don't know specifically on numbers on the speed groove ones for the pen club, but we have a decent amount ready to go. We just need clips. Colin, when might we see a tactical modal? Okay, I'm curious as to like what you mean by tactical modal. Like in the green? Yeah, Chris asked if we're going to do copper pocket modals. We should be able, again, it's all dependent on the clip situation, whether or not we do a full copper version, but we are going to make copper versions of the pocket modal too. They might, if we can't make a clip that is strong enough for that out of copper, then in the interim they'll have aluminum clips. I just need clarification, Colin, on your question about tactical. Do you just mean in like terms of like referencing yesterday's email about Cerakote? Because if that's the case, probably, well, it depends on our Cerakote producer, but that probably wouldn't be. Yeah, okay, so Cerakote, yeah. That's probably not going to be like that. That really depends on the Cerakote applicator and how busy he is, because we only use one, and he basically does everything himself. Probably, I'm going to guess and say April at the earliest. May is probably going to be more. I would say May is probably more realistic, just because I don't have anything prepped to go to the Cerakote applicator. So it's going to be April or May, somewhere in there at the earliest. Picatinny rails and a bipod pen. I've got some Picatinny rails around here. We can drill them to the outside of the modal. Like, I probably have ones that are like cut to fit. Andreas, is there any chance of a Delrin modal with a fluted grip section? I don't think so. Highly doubt that we'll have fluted on the Delrin. We'd have to come up with a different manufacturing process to get flutes on the plastics, based off of how we machine flutes on our pens currently. So I can't commit to that because I'm not a machinist, but having talked to them, I know that getting flutes even on aluminum right now is time consuming and difficult, and not in the plan in the short term. And it's even more difficult based off of like how we're doing that machining application specifically. So hesitant to commit to that or even say that it's possible on plastic at all. We've never done plastic fluting on plastic in the past because of the difficulty in doing it, like how we machine in terms of in terms of using a Swiss lathe, and it basically is holding on. It's hard to really even show. So you have the aluminum, like you have the bar coming out of basically the collet, but it's not supported in a Swiss like stiffly. And then you do the machining, and as it gets further and further along, the metal, because this isn't isn't holding on, it's advancing in time. It's not holding stiffly. It tends to the pen tends to flex down, just move down, and so you can lose a lot of. It's really difficult to show it on the screen. I'm sure you guys are like, I don't know what he's talking about. But it basically allows for some downward movement as you're machining the flutes on it. So we've done stuff in the past to offset that. So I don't know. I'm just gonna. That one's not something that we would even start to mess with in the short term. Yeah, it bends, but it's not even like specifically bending. It's just allowing there to be some lateral movement that is beyond that basically moves the entire piece outside of the machining area and allows for a lot of variance and problems and stuff like that. Like what we would do other versions first, like the speed groove, like frag or some of the other stuff. So Church Boy, like for those of you that are watching this afterwards, asking and not following the chat, which if you want to follow the chat, you can go ahead and slide the comment section, especially if you're on a phone, slide it over, just move it to the left on that first comment, and it will pull up the live chat, and you can watch the live chat along. Way down the road, are you considering specially priced 3-pen or 4-pen modal collector gift set? That's possible. We're thinking about potentially different versions of collector sets of the modal as a whole, or potentially of like all of our roller ball pens, like a bolt, a modal, a retract, different versions of those somehow, like whatever works best. Dave, any plans for more type 3 anodized colors other than black? So there aren't a lot of, so here locally, and even the anodizer, so I'll use this kind of question about anodizing to segue into the next portion of the video. Here locally, our current anodizer, actually both of the anodizers that we would use to get type 3 anodizing, only offer 2 different versions. There's black and then the natural. So there are ways. I've heard that there are some anodizers that do offer type 3 anodizing with other colors. Having talked to ours, they don't do it mostly because there's no way for them to get consistent. It's really difficult for them to get consistent colors, which is the issue that we ran into with the last of the natural batches that we did, where the parts just weren't even close to matching, like the bodies and the lower bodies and the upper bodies weren't consistent enough, especially when you put those 2 parts together. It looks really wonky and ends up not, for a cosmetic product, it's something that people would not be understanding if we were to sell something that didn't have matching colors. Like, we get enough grief as it is. So I don't have access currently to anybody that does that even does other colors, because the further you get away from black or the natural, like the more variance that you put into it. I know there are some people that do FDE or OD. I wonder if that's not just adding just the tiniest amount of dye to the natural or to get it to darken to a more of a, I don't know, a brown or a green. It could also be that they're just running the natural longer in the vat, which will create more of a dark color that looks greenish rather than looks grayish. So we don't have any plans to do that, mostly because I can't find anybody. The other producer that we're currently using to get our orange from, they don't offer any colors besides the natural and black as well in terms of the Type 3 hard coat. So it's not something that we're potentially looking at adding anytime soon, mostly because we don't have anybody on our radar that does other colors. Is there any chance we do a 3-for-2 deal on the bottom shelf Vertex again? Maybe when we add more Vertexes to the bottom shelf before we pull back in some our next big release of Vertexes, we might do something like that. But judging by the amount of Vertex that we have currently, it's doubtful in the short term. Speedsters and anodized Speedsters are on the schedule. Anodized cubes probably not going to happen. I think I asked to answer this last time, but you weren't here last time. Anodized cubes is not something we're going to have until probably at the earliest at the end of the year. So sorry. We get a lot of people asking that, and unfortunately it's just not something. I don't currently have the ability to do it because we do not have anodized. I don't have enough cubes to send out to do anodizing for those. And even if we do, they're only going to be hard coat. It's only going to be black and only going to be natural. All right, so let's go here. Question about the pen club. There should be. Oh, let's see. On the main drop down, there's a pen club. I'll just put a link in the. Give me a second. There's a link to the pen club if you want to purchase into the pen club. Second request for the cubes. I have 3 and need more. Can one custom order a mega cube? Not right now, but we are going to be doing a mega cube. We're going to be doing more mega cubes. It's just we need to have time on that specific. We have one machine that does the mega cubes, and that machine has a lot of work on it currently. It's like one of the busiest machines we have for non-pen, for our non-retail side product. So currently it's got a lot of stuff on it, and one of the things that it will do once it's freed up is do some mega cubes. So those should be back eventually. I just don't have a timeline for them. All right, so let's move on. Since we were talking about anodized, let's move on to the next anodized. I know I talked about excuse me, talked about in one of the emails bringing orange back. As of today, orange is officially back. There are orange retracts on the website right now available for purchase. The two-tone orange retracts, the one that you see on the right, they're available right now. We have a decent-sized first batch of those in stock. So if you know somebody that likes orange and wants an orange pen, those are the first ones that we've got. The pen on the left, the orange EDK, that's a special release pen that we've done a few times since 2020, and people have go nuts over that pen. Like, I think largely because we don't normally do EDKs in with a shiny, like that gloss finish. That pen's going to be available for purchase tomorrow. These are the first 2 orange pens that we got back in stock. That we got one back in stock, just back in regardless. They're the first 2 that the anodizer sent back to us. So these are the first 2 pens that we have that we have available. So today and tomorrow, today for the retract, tomorrow for the EDK. We do have orange decagraphs with several different colors, 4 different colors match like hardware that are gonna be available probably next week, probably Fountain Pen Friday. Next Friday they'll be up on the site live. Those will be available with silver, shiny black, a special gray that I have, and then it's not a full matte gray, it's not a gloss gray, but it looks really nice. So kind of a monsoon version, and then blue and orange, really that same color blue that we had on the silver and blue decagraphs that we released for special release for the holidays in the fountain pen gift box. We're going to have those available on the decagraphs. Already have plans to bring the bolts back. So the bolts should be back in stock this week as well. Orange bolts. And then a few different versions of the modals will be available in orange, both pocket modals and standard modals in orange. And then orange inks will be back eventually. That's kind of dependent on when we get clips back in stock, because I don't have clips. As far as other colors that the anodizer, that this specific anodizer does, that we don't currently have, the dark teal color that we've had in the past. I actually have a pen that is in dark teal. So that's technically called dark teal. Some anodizers call it aqua. We did that version. Here's another dark. I didn't mean to have these even in here. Put it on this side, maybe. I don't know. That way you can kind of see it close to each other. Those are technically what the anodizers call dark teal. Some anodizers call it aqua. It's a light blue, depending on how we tumble the raw pens before we send them out for anodize. Changes the. I'm trying to think of the technical term. It changes the way the light reflects off the anodize. So a finished tumble, like a high polished tumble, makes it the translucency of the anodize a little bit brighter. So you get a brighter look versus like basically these two are different because this is a matte version and this is not a matte. This is a gloss version of this pen. So this is the gloss version of the anodize versus the matte version of the anodize. See, it reflects light a little bit differently, so one looks shinier than the other does. Plus, this was heavy tumbled before, and this is finished tumbled, which adds more shine to this. This is a little more of a flat surface in terms of like even making it less reflective. So there's different combinations of how we can get different looks, but that color will hopefully be back in stock by the end of March and the beginning of April. We were supposed to get some of those returned to us with the orange pens, but unfortunately their technicians opened all the boxes and mixed all the pens together and then saw, oh, these are different colors. And then I couldn't over the phone. I could not direct them onto how to basically divide the pens back up into what they were supposed to be. So we're just getting a whole new batch of pens together for dark teal and sending those out next week. And then probably a couple weeks after that, even more pens for dark teal because I don't have some pens I want to do in dark teal right now. And then we're also going to have some of the light green color. If you remember the little green pen that had the alien face laser etched on the side of it, that was actually a light green color that we got anodized with the same anodizer that does the orange and the teal. And so we're going to get some pens in that lighter green shade. I don't know that
we'll have access to a dark green again for a while. The anodizer that we had that got us a really good dark green doesn't do a very good job anymore in terms of our specifications. So we're kind of out on the darker green. We have like that mid green, that kind of media, like the standard meat. I don't know what to call it even. Like it's more of like a, not Kelly green, but it's just that regular green color that we have, for lack of a better term. And then there's a lighter green that we're going to get in. Retro fan asked, did you sell all the colorful decographs at the California Pen Show? I don't think so. I think we have a decent amount of the decographs still available. I don't know when the next show specifically is that we're going to, so it's possible some of those will be available for the Pen Club members. Some small batch of those we might put up for Pen Club members, or we might do a flash sale on some of those on Instagram. But I haven't looked through the books to see what they brought back, the folders to see what pens they brought back. I know they didn't sell all of them for sure. The modals were a bigger seller than the fountain pen stuff was. But since we're talking about fountain pens and specifically decographs, we might as well segue into that. If you're curious about Ultem pens, we are going to have Ultem Vertexes available soon. But before we have the Ultem Vertexes, we're going to have Ultem Decographs available first. So the first time having the Decograph in Ultem should be sometime at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. We have caps running and bodies running. We have to put grips on on a machine once the machine frees up. But if you're a Decograph fan, you'll finally get an Ultem Decograph. I know a lot of people have asked about it, and we're pushing through to add multiple different fountain pens in Ultem in that material. So you won't just have, oh, it's just the Vertex, I really want a pen with a clip. Well, now you'll have the Decograph available in Ultem, which I figured Ishmael would flip over that, because since the Decograph is his favorite of our fountain pens. So that's kind of the big news in terms of Ultem. Bill told me literally today, he was here a couple hours ago, and we were talking about the different the different pens that we were going to have, and he's like, oh, by the way, I got Ultem figured out, so we should have some of those available soon. Church Boys asked if we will do some full color retracts. That is something that we offer every once in a while. I just haven't planned those releases out, because I like to do a little bit more planning in terms of those types of releases, because they're not standard versions of those pens. But we probably will do solid color orange ones, but those are not going to be shiny. They'll probably just be the matte orange, and they might be a different shade. The company that we use for the orange has 6 different shades of orange. They have a light, medium, and a dark in both in matte finish and in bright dip, and they look significantly different. So we'll figure that out and find out how to do some retracts in all orange. Are we coming to the Pacific Northwest Pen Show? I don't know that we have decided whether or not we're going to that show this year. I know Bill went last year, and we went once before, maybe like 2019 he went. I can't remember what other year he went. I know that one is up in the air based off of conflicts in terms of the 3 of us that go to pen shows, myself, G, 4 of us. G and Tommy usually go together, myself, and then Bill. And that in July, there might be conflicts in terms of all of our schedules, so it might not happen this year. But I don't have that one for sure. The last time I checked, it had a question mark next to it. So as of right now, I'm not positive. We haven't finalized that portion of it. Yeah, it has, Brian. It has been a long time. I think we went in 2019 before lockdowns and all that stuff. And then we went last year and we hadn't gone in between those two dates. That if I remember correctly, that is where we're at with those. All right, so I thought they had like a small meetup. There was like some vendors and stuff that got together. Maybe it wasn't called the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, but it was something. We went to something. It might have just been a get together or whatever. Like I don't know. There was something in Portland that we went to once before, quite a ways ago. But we weren't around from 2004 to 2008. So there was something that we went to in Portland, and I don't remember what it was called. Bill went with his wife that year, and I think it was 2019. I'd have to look at our photos. I know we have photos of it somewhere, but it might not be the official Pacific Northwest Pen Show that they had last year, but like it was some type of meetup or get together. I think it was in a brewery, and they had some vendors that were there, and Bill went to that. So in terms of like us visiting in an official capacity, that was what we went to. Yeah, we went to that, I think, in 2019. So now there's an official show, so we went to that this last year, and I just don't know for sure. All right, so we got about 15 minutes left before I kind of wrap things up. In the interim, if you have not yet completed the giveaway, it's pinned in the chat. You should be able to get it at the top. Please complete that so you can be entered to win. The pens I'm giving away are the white and black. Oh, they're not even there. Look at me, unprepared. Super sloppy. The pens we're going to be giving away are the white and black Delrin Ultims. So those are I'll pick two random winners, and from the list, I'll give you guys we'll do the drawing at like 5 till. Until we wrap that up, if you have any questions that you want answered that I can potentially, hopefully, maybe answer. I'm not giving away any trade secrets or what have you. I'll answer your questions as best I'm able to. No questions? Wow. This is a first. No questions. This is amazing. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to go over today, and now I'm like, I don't remember what else I was supposed to go over. I had other stuff on the list, but then when we got in the orange and Bill told me the stuff about the ultimate decagraphs, I was like, oh, I put that on the list, and I think I forgot some of the other stuff I was supposed to be talking about. I swear, dude. Eric, one of these days, I don't know. I don't even know how to. No, unfortunately, Eric, no Zerk mini Ks anytime soon. No mini Ks at all anytime soon. I did find a bag of gray mini Ks that we anodized for somebody. They were supposed to be laser etched for a company. I think there was like, for their employees, there was like 10 of them. And they never ended up going through with it. So I did find a bag of like 10 or 12 gray mini Ks if anybody wants mini Ks. Oh, that was what it was. You're correct, Retro. The monthly giveaway. Brian, as long as it takes you, like, those are, sorry I haven't emailed you back. You know, that whatever, I don't have a time frame. You were doing them for us. So, Carol, thank you for the kind words. We're happy to be making cool stuff. My day is going wonderful, Adam. All right, let me, any chance to see more short vids on the product machining on YouTube? Yeah, Tommy was taking a whole bunch of footage yesterday and I think the day before, so we can do more shorts and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to sit down and kind of, maybe we can do that more often than we have in the past. I guess I'll try to be as concise as possible. I did talk about going over the monthly giveaway. And so let me talk about that before we get further along, so I don't lose that. We're discontinuing the monthly giveaway for a couple of reasons, and I don't want to. I'm going to try to be as what's the word I'm looking for? I'll try to be as concise, but as and honest as possible with it. So if I'm being completely honest about it, doing a monthly giveaway essentially became a great big problem based off of us being questioned about our intentions for doing it, and then being threatened with legal action, which is why I added a massive, huge disclaimer to that, which I wrote basically from scratch. And even that was not good enough, and we got a lot of questions about it that basically was like, look, this is making it impossible for us to do the monthly giveaway. Like, we're trying to give free stuff away, and it just was way too much of a hassle in terms of being threatened with, well, you could get in legal trouble, like, if you don't have alternate methods to enter the giveaway. And we basically decided we're not going to do the monthly giveaway anymore. Nobody here, we don't have a lawyer on staff. I have to come up with stuff like that whenever it goes into that type of thing. So we're going to refocus all of our giveaways on stuff like giveaways on the live stream, giveaways on Instagram, giveaways on, hey, here's a feedback form, tell us what you think. Everybody that answers these questions is going to be entered into this giveaway, and it's going to run from this time to this time, and then everybody has the same chance as everybody else. So just so that we're on the up and up, we did 2 months worth of the monthly giveaway, and I've lost track of the amount of emails that I received questioning whether or not we were running them correctly, whether or not we were even doing them, whether we were whatever. Like, it just was way too much of a headache. So, that the monthly giveaway is gone, but to kind of offset that, we'll be doing more. Like, every single YouTube live stream will have a giveaway. We'll do Instagram giveaways. We're still going to do the show like giveaway pins where we hide stuff. We're going to expand to doing at least one of those like tiny little polls where it's just one question or two questions, and everybody in there gets entered to win giveaways for that. So instead of just doing one big giveaway, we're going to do a bunch of smaller ones that we can kind of control and have them happen that way. All right. We have, Carol, you asked about alternate fillers. We have talked about that and kind of messed around with that. It's not something that we have prioritized, largely based off of survey feedback. So the largest survey that we sent out, we had over 2,000 people complete the survey, and a large group of them were fountain pen people that didn't currently own our pens. It was about 50-50 because it got reposted in several different fountain pen communities. And the feedback was largely that over like 65% of people prefer using a cartridge converter to an alternate filling mechanism. And the second one to that was a piston converter. Vacuum filler was way down the list. Was third, but like it was like less than 10% of the people preferred a vacuum filler. So we have done some research and looked at different methods of filling methods, and just haven't potentially landed on actually implementing that in the future. Had there not been a constriction or contraction in the pen, in the economy, and specifically how that relates to selling pens, we might have been prototyping something like that this year. But that's definitely been pushed back just because the initial R&D that we would have to put into it followed with the increase potentially in price, and the fact that based off of our maintenance of fountain pen sales declining the way that it has, it's not something that we're going to invest time and money in the interim time. We would have to see a pickup in sales for us to go down that road again. All right. Ian, are you getting any ideas from surveys? I don't know what the craziest suggestion was. I think somebody asked us if we could make a pen that was also a knife, and not like a pen knife, like an old school tiny pen knife, but like a knife and a pen built in. So I think that might have been the craziest thing outside of zirconium, pens made out of zirconium. So those are the two craziest questions I get, Ian. Sorry, Brian. I don't want it. Like none of the. So here's the thing. None of the people that threatened any of this stuff, to my knowledge, are lawyers. But that was just what happened, and so that's why we got rid of it. Yeah, it was just too much work. So. All right, let me run the giveaway. And then, all right, has everybody, first, once again, has everybody had a chance to fill out the giveaway link that's at the top of the chat? I don't want anybody to miss out that's in here right now. That happened a couple months ago. Somebody was like, oh, I filled it out right before you did it. Carol, there's a lot of crossover with the metal pen community and people who carry pocket knives or not even carry them, but collect pocket knives. So I think there's a lot of that EDC community. And so I think somebody was, I don't know if it was a joke, could have been a joke, but somebody did complete it. If you're the person that did it and you're in here, that'd be hilarious. But somebody did say, how about a pen and a knife? Like a pen that is a knife or a knife that is a pen. And I'm like, I don't know how we would accomplish that. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and run the drawing. Getting everybody's name.
All right. Oh, no, that's wrong. Wrong. Do. There we go. Random.org. A pen lighter. See, there you go. This is the same. A pen lighter, a pen flask. A pen, you get all that stuff. So pen this, pen that, pen the other. We're just going to run it one time. That makes it easy. And list randomizer. Randomize. There we go. Okay, so I have the official winners. The official winners are Mr. Eric Acock is winner number 1. Make sure that I'm not doing this wrong, because last time somebody won who there was 2 different people with the same name. The next one is Justin. So Eric Acock is winner number 1. Justin is winner number 2. Congratulations. Gents. Oh boy. My screen just exploded there. So if both of you two will send me an email, paul@karascustoms.com. paul@karascustoms.com, and with your shipping information, let me know what color, whether you want the white or the black. If you both pick white or you both pick black, I'll just have. Oh, see, there you go. There's 2 Justins. Once again, man, every single time, 2 Justins. 2 Justins. There's 2 Justins in here right now. It's just the regular Justin. Just Justin. No Justin GY. Just Justin. Sorry, Justin GY. Just Justin. I guess I should use people's, but I don't want to give out people's email addresses. So I'm trying to go by your YouTube chat name. So rematch between Justin and send me an email, guys, gents, peoples, the 2 winners with your shipping address. Sorry, Justin. I was reading it specifically as the YouTube chat name in order to not have that problem. So there we go. I apologize if anybody's mad. You can be mad at me for not doing things correctly. If you want to file a complaint, you can file a complaint with Brian Marsh. He's a lawyer. I don't know his email address, but he volunteered that information. So I'm volunteering him to hear all official complaints. Actually, I shouldn't do that because he's doing some cool stuff for us. No, please don't message Brian Marsh with any complaints. He is not our official legal representation. Having said all that, we'll go ahead and kind of wrap things up. If anybody has any last minute questions that I can answer, I will take them now. If not, we'll close things out. If you're curious about the other giveaway that we're currently running, it's in our email. Actually, can probably let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Why don't I do this too? I don't know if it's possible that not all of you have completed this yet. So if you haven't filled this giveaway out,
and you didn't win the current giveaway, the YouTube giveaway that we just did, here, this is our Wednesday poll. It runs through today. Today is the final day. Actually, that's not right. It's supposed to run through Saturday. I apologize. It's supposed to run through the end of the week. So I'll update that. There will be one more day of this available if you haven't completed this giveaway. It's just 2 questions. It's just 1 question, literally. 1 question. And then you're entered into a chance to win a tumbled pocket modal. All right, so apparently 2 Erics, 2. Buying a pen is cheaper than an attorney. Another shot of Oban. I don't do shots of Oban. I don't. I sip Oban. If you say buy more pens to me and my wife will hear, and I'll have to. Have a good weekend, Chris. Any plans for pens, laser engraved limited editions? We've looked at doing small, like engraved pens, and we just never got around to it because it requires a lot of time, and the software that we have for our pens for lasering is kind of a pain to use. So right now, no. All right. I went ahead and left the other giveaway form for the poll. If you guys want to do that, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you for being here. Eric and just Justin, send me an email, please, with your shipping information so I can send out your pen. Otherwise, thank you, everybody, for being here. Once again, I always appreciate it. It's super fun to interact with everybody here. It would be extremely boring if I was just here by myself talking to a camera. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll see you back here next month. We still do have plans to do a shop tour live stream at some point. I just have to figure out the logistics behind it and how I'm going to go ahead and do that. But that is still in the plan. No, we do not have plans to add Karis, like a name brand, on the pens. It's not going to happen. So have a great weekend, everybody. I really appreciate you for dropping by and making it fun. I will talk to everybody soon. Thank you so much. Good night.